Hello, good day. I am Ricky Camacho, Registrar of the Antigua and Barbuda Intellectual Property and Commerce Office, known as the BIPCO. And today I have with me Karian Christian.
Hello.
So tell me a little about the title, Children of the Soil, and the personal meaning behind that.
Well, Children of the Soil, when I was living away, and every time I used to come back and forth from the States to Antigua, every time someone did something, like someone ran track and field, or they got into being an author, or they opened a business, or they did something, you know, that showed cultural relevance, and they lived away or they came back, people always said, daughter of the soil or son of the soil. And that always used to kind of have special meaning to me, because I always thought that even though I was living in the States, I was a daughter of the soil. So it just, it just clicked, Children of the Soil.
And why do you feel that these particular Antiguan and Barbudan images are important to our children in our society in promoting literacy?
Well, what I feel like early childhood education is so important, and that sets the foundation for the rest of your literary life or the rest of your educational life. So why not start with something that's relevant? Now children turn on the TV and they see American shows, they see in the books they see UK based shows, even authors, as someone mentioned before, when we were younger we saw authors, and the closest we got was Trinidad, Barbados. We have so much content in Antigua and Barbuda, and I felt like it was important for my daughter and my family and the children of Antigua and Barbuda and the Caribbean to have something of their own to say, look, mommy, we pick mangoes on the weekends, it's in my book. We go to English Harbour and go to Nelson's Dockyard, it's in my book. And they are able to identify and things that they can call their own. So that was very, very important to me, to leave a legacy from my daughter, to show that the children of Antigua and Barbuda and the Caribbean, that they, see themselves. It's all about representation, and why not start with what is ours?
What does it mean to you personally, Karian, to be a creator and an innovator? And I could just show the back of your shirt, because you clearly identify as not just an author, as a creator.
Yes.
And I'd like to know what that actually means to you.
Well, as I said, that means it's all about leaving a legacy. I want to be able to, say that I contributed to the society, I contributed to the growth of, the Caribbean. Like our parents, they put so much into us. They say that they sacrificed a lot. My mother sacrificed a lot. She was a single mom, and she sacrificed to send me and my sister to university. What are you going to do with that? When somebody says Karian Christian or Karian or Levi's mom, what does that mean to you? I want to be able to contribute something meaningful, especially to children. We always say, it's so cliche, children are the future. If I believe in that, if I'm in education, then I just feel like it's my responsibility, to be a part of that. I used to go to the Foundation Mixed School, and our motto was nothing but the best is good enough, and that has always stuck with me. And my mom actually had a personal motto for us: anything worth doing is worth doing well. And I used to be like, oh my God, Mom, please. Like, she used to say that every day. And I used to be so annoyed. But then when I became an adult, and especially a mom, I realized that, wow, anything that you're doing, you have to just do it to the best of your ability. And to be a woman innovator, just especially from the Caribbean, it just means a lot to me to be able to, I always say, contribute to my, country, to my culture. My culture is very important to me. Anywhere I go in the world, they call me Miss Antigua, because everything is about Antigua. I feel like it's our personal responsibility to be ambassadors for Antigua and Barbuda, because our culture is everything, it's a part of who I am. So I feel like it's very important to be an innovator, just to leave a legacy and to do something important.
And when you began your enterprise and building your brand, did you have any knowledge, and did you know how to start? And did you have any particular knowledge of intellectual property? And how in any way did that benefit you, particularly with the publishing, something such as the ISBN number and obtaining all these things that you would need to sell a book at this time?
Well, as I was saying earlier, when you start, especially on your entrepreneur journey, and maybe you don't have anyone to fashion your journey off of, you kind of start in the middle and you go to the front, to the back, all over, because you don't really know. But for me, I didn't really know what it meant to be an author. I just knew, okay, this is what I wanted to be, wanted to do with the book. And I actually reached out to another Antiguan author, Flory White, and she steered me in the direction of Amazon being self-published. So with that, Amazon helps you with your publishing and distribution, ISBN number, but I also knew that I am a dual citizen of the US and Antigua and Barbuda, so I had to register my business in Antigua and the US as well. So intellectual property is something that it's, you know, it can be very tricky, and the help of your office, actually, I went in, I actually spoke with you, and you were like, make sure you register your business, and then I went to intellectual property. I got a lot of information from the staff at intellectual property. They went through everything with me, telling me when they realized that I was a dual citizen, they said, well, you know, you make sure you have to, you know, handle your business in the US, but in Antigua, and they gave me all the paperwork. You know, they were very, very helpful. And I think that's very important for women, you know, anyone, entrepreneurs, but especially women, to know that in order to own something and to own something for you, you have to make sure you go through the legality of it. And so I knew that I had to. You always hear copyright, you always hear trademark, but you don't really know exactly the avenues. And as I said, the intellectual property division really helped me with that. And that's how I found out, just from trial and error, from reaching out to other authors, and yeah.
Can you just tell us where we can currently find these coloring books at this time?
So locally, you can get Children of the Soil Jumbo Coloring and Activity Book at the Methodist Bookshop on St. Mary Street, Cindy's Bookstore in the Townhouse Plaza. You can also get it at Rocky's Airport Store in the Departure Lounge. You can also get it from me. So my number is 774-0315. You can WhatsApp or call me and I deliver. And also on Amazon, just type in Children of the Soil Jumbo Coloring and Activity Book. It's on Amazon.
What advice would you give to other women entrepreneurs?
The advice I would give them is, first, have a clear goal. Even though you might not know exactly what you want to become or what you want to do, just write things down. I write down everything. I have a notebook, write it down in your phone, and just ask questions. Get a mentor, get somebody that, you know, is doing the same thing as you. Ask a lot of questions. Do your research. Get everything that you can legally done. So if you have a name for something, register it. If you have an idea for a business, go to intellectual properties, get, you know, advice. Also, just start. A lot of the times we feel so discouraged, like we see the end goal, but we don't see the starting. Just start, and you never know, it will develop over time. But I can tell anybody, especially girls and women, just start, and don't even look for, oh, this person is not supporting me, that person is not supporting me. Once your product is good and you have passion for what you want to do, it will, you know, catch fire.
Well, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
sharing all of this with us today. And just as we wrap up, how can we keep up to date with Karian Christian and
All
see
right.
what's coming next? How can we?
So my Instagram and Facebook pages are Bold Books 268, because that's the name of my company. Bold Books 268 on Facebook and on Instagram. And as I said, my number is 774-0315, and you can WhatsApp me, call me, and yeah, that's me.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.